Hey guys, what's up? MadSeason here, and welcome to my Underlight Angler guide. The Underlight Angler is one of the many new artifacts introduced in Legion. It's exclusive to fishers and it provides a variety of fishing related bonuses such as increased catch rates, the ability to teleport to nearby fishing nodes, an underwater fish form, and more. In this video, I'll walk you through step by step on how to obtain this artifact as efficiently as possible, and I'll also show you its traits in action so you can decide if it's worth getting or not. One big disclaimer I gotta put out here though is that this is all from the beta, so anything you see here is subject to change. To get the Underlight Angler, there are a few requirements. You have to be level 110, have a fishing level of 800, and you also have to obtain the Bigger Fish to Fry achievement, where you catch all 18 of Legion's rare fish. Once you have all of these requirements met, you'll be able to fish up a quest starter that awards you with the actual artifact. Let's start with the most time-consuming requirement, and that's the Bigger Fish to Fry achievement. For this one, you have to catch a variety of fish spread out in all 5 zones of the Broken Isles. You do this by first fishing up rare bait, which then allows you to catch the actual rare fish. The chance to get the bait is pretty low, but once you apply it, the chance to get the relevant rare fish is quite high. You can make things a little easier on yourself though. To increase your chance to catch the rare bait, we need to visit an NPC named Conjurer Margas who's on an island northwest of Dalaran. There are a couple of ways to get on this island. The intended way is to fish up an item called the Emblem of Margas from the green shimmering whorls in the black market waters located in the sewers of Dalaran. This item teleports you to the island, and it's consumed on you, so you'll have to get one every time you want to visit it. A way to get past this is if you have a glider, slowfall, or you're a demon hunter because you can just float to the island. To do this, head on over to Crassus Landing in Dalaran and jump on this wall from the broken pillar. Keep following this wall until you see the island floating on your right. And once you see it, just glide or slowfall your way onto it. On this island, you'll see a lone mage with a quest. Accept the quest and start fishing in the nearby pond until you fish up something called a drowned mana. You'll be using this as a currency for this NPC. Turn in the quest and he'll sell you a selection of items, but the only one we're interested in for the purposes of this video is the Arcane Lure. You need 1 drowned mana to buy this, and when you use it, it increases your chance to catch rare bait by 100% for 10 minutes. Now this isn't absolutely necessary, but trust me, it saves you just a ton of time towards this achievement. In total, I found that I needed around 30 to 40 of these by the time I finished the achievement. To get the drowned mana to buy these, just get back to fishing in the nearby pond. The drop rate can be pretty low, but in the long run, it'll save you a ton of time. To speed up your drowned mana farm, you may also fish up the Mark of Aquos. When you use this, it spawns a water elemental named Aquos the Unleashed who attacks you. Once you kill it, the pool becomes enchanted, which increases the amount of drowned mana you fish up for a few minutes. This does work for everyone fishing in the pond, so even if you didn't summon them, make sure you help out. And although I can't test this on beta servers, this may be something you can take advantage of by realm hopping to find a server that recently killed them. So, once you have a healthy stock of arcane lures, it's time to work on the Bigger Fish to Fry achievement. Like I mentioned, in total you'll need to catch 18 rare fish. There are 6 zones in the Broken Isles we'll be visiting for this, and that's Asuna, Vell, High Mountain, Stormheim, Soromar, and the ocean coast, which is accessible in any of those zones. Each of these zones will have 3 fish that we need to get. Before I get into the actual fish, one thing I wanted to mention is that the optimal method of catching them is still being tested. Speculation is that fishing in the various pools located in each zone is faster. Although I don't have any math to back it up, I think it may be true. I did notice a better rate on both bait and rare fish when I opted to fish in the pools. I'm pretty sure it's not necessary though, because a lot of my bait and fish were caught in just the open water. So either way will work. Fishing in pools may be faster in theory, but one thing you have to keep in mind is that you have to compete against other people for these pools. And these arcane lures only have a 10-minute duration, so unless you're on a super low populated server, you may waste too much time looking for pools or trying to beat other people to them instead of actually fishing. If things aren't too crowded though and you have the nodes to yourself, I do recommend going for them. Another really important thing to note is that as of this beta build, a lot of the bait isn't soulbound. I have a feeling that this is going to get nerfed, but if it sticks, this is something you can buy in the auction house to speed things up. On that note though, make sure you keep any excess bait you get because we'll need it later to level up the artifact. So, in no particular order, let's start with Asuna. First up, we have the Lay Shimmer Blenny. For this one, you have to first fish up the bait, the Scrog Toenail. Once you get this, you'll get a 2-minute buff saying that you're attracting murlocs, and after the buff expires, a murloc will attack you. Kill it and then loot it to get the aromatic murloc slime. Apply this bait to get a 2-minute buff that allows you to catch the Lay Shimmer Blenny. Most of these bait buffs last for 2 minutes, which is a little short, but it's usually enough time to catch your target fish. There will be some cases where you don't catch a rare fish within that 2 minutes, but I found that to be pretty rare. Considering the speculation that pools have a higher chance to give you the fish, I always wait until I find a pool of fish before I apply the bait. Usually by the time you exhaust that pool, you do have the rare fish, but if that's not the case, don't go searching for another pool unless it's really close, or else you may end up wasting too much time. Next up, we have the Narthelis Hermit. This one is more straightforward. For this one, you need to fish up a pearlescent conch for your bait, and once you use it, you have a chance to fish up the Narthelis Hermit for 2 minutes. Lastly, for Asuna, we have the Ghostly Queenfish. For this one, the bait you're looking to fish up is the Rusty Queenfish Brooch. This one is a little different. When you use this, it allows you to see ghostly queenfish schools scattered throughout Asuna for 5 minutes. The one I found was located at coordinates 5536 in the big pool of water near the Narthelis Academy, so head to that general area and use the brooch to see if you can see any pools. I do recommend having the Find Fish spell to make things easier on yourself. Once you find a pool, just fish in it to grab the ghostly queenfish. This has a 100% chance as long as you're fishing in the pool, so no worries about RNG on this one. Also, these pools never despawn, so if other people are already fishing in them, go ahead and join them. This may change later on in the road though, because it does seem unintended. Next up, we have Vell. First up on our list is the Ancient Ma skill. For this one, you need to fish up the Rotten Fishbone. Go ahead and use it, and then a short while afterwards, a druid should appear and give you a bait buff. And to go along with the scheme of things, you have 2 minutes to fish it up. Next, we have the Thorned Flounder. For this one, as bait, you have to fish up the Drowned Thistle Leaf. Similar to the fishbone, shortly after using it, you'll get a 2-minute buff that allows you to fish up the Thorned Flounder. And lastly for Vell, we have the Terror Fin. This one is more straightforward. For this one, the bait you're looking for is the Nightmare Nightcrawler. Once you fish that up, use it to get a 2-minute buff that allows you to fish up the Terror Fin. And that's it for Vell. Next up is High Mountain. First up, we have the Mountain Puffer. For this one, you have to first fish up the Swollen Murloc egg. After you use it, a Murloc spawns which gives you a 2-minute buff to fish up the Mountain Puffer. Next up, we have the Ancient High Mountain Salmon. This one is kind of similar to Asuna's Lay Shimmer Blenny. For this one, you have to fish up an item called the Funky Sea Snail. Once you do, you get a 2-minute buff saying you're attracting a Drogbar. And once that buff wears off, a Drogbar will spawn and attack you. Once it does, take it out and loot the salmon lure from its body. And as always, just use the lure to get a 2-minute buff that allows you to fish up the Ancient High Mountain Salmon. And lastly for High Mountain, we have the Cold Driver Carp. Our bait this time is the Frostworm. Once you get it, use it to get a 2-minute buff that allows you to fish up the Cold Driver Carp. And that's it for High Mountain. Zone number 4 on our list is Stormheim. First, let's knock out the Udelfiesk. This one is similar to the Ghostly Queenfish in Asuna. For this one, you need to fish up an item called the Ancient Vrykul Ring. Once you use this, you're able to see Udelfieskin pools in Stormheim for 5 minutes. Similar to the Ghostly Queenfish schools, you can find these scattered throughout the zone, but the pool I found was located at coordinates 4662 in the Stone Scar Gorge. So once you do find a pool, fish up an Udelfiesk at a 100% rate. Next up, we have the Thundering Storm Ray. This one has 2 layers of bait. You'll have to first fish up an item called the Moose Horn Hook. This gives you a 2-minute buff that allows you to fish up another bait, the Silver Scale Minnow. Once you use the minnow, you'll get a 2-minute buff that allows you to fish up the Thundering Storm Ray. And lastly for Stormheim, we have the Grey Belly Lobster. For our bait, this time we're looking for the Soggy Drake Scale. And you guessed it, once you use it, you have 2 minutes to fish up the Grey Belly Lobster. Next up, we have our Ocean Fish. You can access these fish in any zone as long as you're on the ocean coast. To tell if you're in the right place or not, you should be fishing up black barracudas and you should see black barracuda pools nearby. First up, we have the Sea Bottom Squid. For this one, you need to fish up the Stunned Angry Shark. When you use this, you'll spawn a landlocked shark which flops around. Make sure you stay away from its mouth or it'll deal massive damage, and just take it out and loot it to get the Sea Bottom Squid. Next up, we have the Axe Fish. For this one, you have to fish up an item called a Message in a Beer Bottle. Open that up to get the Axe Fish lure, and then use it to get a 2-minute buff which allows you to get the Axe Fish. And lastly for our Ocean Fish, we have the Ancient Black Barracuda. For this one, you need to fish up an item called the Decayed Whale Blubber. When you use this, you throw it on the ground and a ravenous fly will eventually show up near it. Click on the fly to loot it, and then use it to get a 2-minute buff that allows you to fish up the Ancient Black Barracuda. And the last zone we have is Soromar, and this is a level 110 zone, so you're going to want to level up before coming here. First on our list is the Magic Eater Frog. This one is pretty standard. For bait, you need to fish up the Enchanted Lure. Once you do so, use it and then you have 2 minutes to fish up the Magic Eater Frog. Next up, we have the Tainted Runescale Koi. This one is also pretty straightforward. For bait, we'll need to fish up the Demonic Detritus. And as always, once you use it, you'll get a 2-minute buff that allows you to fish up the tainted runescale koi. And for our very last fish, we have the seer spine puffer. For this one, you need to fish up a sleeping murloc. Use the murloc to release it. Once you do so, it'll panic and drop fish everywhere. Just run over the fish to loot them, and in the process, you'll loot the seer spine puffer. And with that, you should finally have the bigger fish to fry achievement. To give you an idea of how long this takes, I did keep track of how many fish I caught, and in total, I casted approximately 1,089 times before I was able to finish the achievement fully. So it's pretty time consuming for sure. So if that seems like too much of a grind for you, definitely check the auction house for people selling bait. Like I said earlier, the bait is the only hard thing to get. Once you have that, you'll usually catch the rare fish within the 2-minute duration, at least with the drop rates on the beta. But once you have this, you'll most likely have 800 fishing as well because, as I'm sure you noticed, all of the rare fish you've been getting give you 5 skill points whenever you use them. So as long as you're level 110 and you have 800 fishing, you have every requirement knocked out. So now, every time you fish, you have a chance to loot up a quest starter called the Luminous Pearl. You can fish this up in any zone. I personally got mine in a runeskill koi pool in Soromar about 10 minutes after finishing the bigger fish to fry achievement. But once you fish this up, start the quest and head on over to Khadgar in Dalaran. He'll send you to Marcia Chase located near the Dalaran fountain, and once you turn in that quest, you'll notice the pearl floating above the fountain. Now this is where it got a little buggy for me. Nat Pagel is supposed to appear at this point and give you a quest. For me, he was nowhere to be found, but after a quick relog he showed right up. I'm assuming this will eventually be fixed, but I just wanted to throw it out there just in case it isn't. When he does show up, he'll give you another quest, asking you to take care of some murlocs on a faraway island. This starts a short scenario where you take out some murlocs, do some fishing, and then finally take out a giant murloc boss. It's a pretty simple fight, there's nothing too tricky going on. Once you take it out, Nat will send you back to Dalaran where you will have Marcia finally craft you the Underlight Angler. It is a full-blown artifact, it has its own trait tree and everything, and as you can see, the model is quite nice. Having it equipped gives you a passive plus 60 to your fishing skill, and it gives you the Undercurrent ability, which teleports you to a fishing node within 300 yards. Now unfortunately I can't show you this one in action because it's not implemented in the beta yet. In fact, the whole tree isn't fully implemented as you can see here. Some of them still work though. I'll have a link to a trait calculator in the description, but as you can see here, this is the Walk on Water trait, and it does work even though there's no tooltip. This is really handy to have, especially if you're not a Death Knight or a Shaman, because there are a lot of fishing pools in Legion where you need water walking to be able to fish in them. I can confirm that this doesn't work for mounts though, so if you want water walking while mounted, you'll need a Water Strider, or you'll just have to be a Death Knight or a Shaman. There's also the Blood Fishing trait, which gives you a chance to fish up a Blood of Sargeras when fishing in the Broken Isles. The Blood of Sargeras is a high-level crafting material in Legion, so this one is pretty nice. Although I don't think it's fully implemented yet because after several hundred casts, I have yet to see one blood. Next up, we have the Fish Render's Blessing trait, which allows you to become a fish underwater, greatly increasing your swim speed and giving you the ability to breathe underwater. This is really handy to have, and it persists through combat and even through hits. We also have the Better Luck Next Time trait, which gives you a chance to fish up boots when fishing in the Broken Isles. Unfortunately, I can't say much about this one because just like the blood fishing trait, the drop rate is either extremely low or it's not implemented yet because I've yet to see a single pair of boots after several hundred casts. The last major trait in the calculator is the Fishbane trait, which increases the damage of your melee attacks against aquatic beasts. I think they may have replaced this one because for one, I didn't notice an increase in damage, and when I picked this up, I noticed whenever I fished, I got a buff called the Way of the Flounder. This makes it so whenever you cast your line, you gain a stealth effect and your aggro range is reduced by 5 yards. So this is really handy when you're in a crowded area with patrolling mobs. The reason why I think this replaced Fishbane is because, like I mentioned earlier, I didn't notice an increase in damage, and it also has the same icon. It is hard to tell with the bug tooltips though. Another sort of hidden trait is that the duration of all of your baits are increased as you level the artifact. With only 11 points in the Angler, your normal baits get increased from a 2-minute duration to around 5 minutes, and the items that allow you to see hidden pools get increased from 5 minutes to around 9, which is really nice because we still need these baits to actually level the artifact. This is why I said to hang on to your excess bait earlier, because now as long as you have the Underlight Angler equipped, all of the rare fish you catch now give you artifact power instead of fishing skill. Now I know what you're thinking, unfortunately any rare fish you caught beforehand do not get converted to artifact power, so there's no sense to hanging on to those. Each rare fish you catch with the Angler gives you the same 50 artifact power, and as of this beta build, it can't be increased by the artifact research notes that you get from your class hall. To actually spend your artifact power, you need to return to the Dalaran Fountain where your Luminous Pearl resides. As for the best way to farm artifact power, the main method I like is through those never-ending fishing pools that you get from the ancient Vrykul ring in Stormheim, or the rusty queenfish brooch in Asuna. As long as you find a fishing pool soon after using these buffs, you can typically catch around 25 to 35 rare fish per use, depending on how high you've leveled your angler, of course. This is only assuming that they never despawn though. Like I said, this may be unintended and Blizzard may nerf it down the line. So that about covers everything. Once again, keep in mind that all of this information was from the beta, so any of this is subject to change. Regardless, hopefully now you have a solid idea on how to obtain this artifact and if it's worth your time or not. I personally love it. I think it's a must-have for anyone looking to do a decent amount of fishing this expansion. Some of the traits are so useful, it's crazy. I thought it was a really fun side thing to get, and I look forward to getting it again when Legion actually releases. And that's about all I have to talk about, I guess. Good luck with your grind and have fun with it. I hope you found this video helpful. Give it a like if you liked it, and if you really liked it, let me know in the comments and subscribe. And as always, thanks for watching, good luck, and peace.